Okay, another fun day of trading today. Really enjoyable day. It didn't look that good on the scanners first thing in the morning. You know, like a real early look, it didn't look that good. And it still really didn't look all that great when everything opened, except for one, Pixie. Pixie checked all the boxes for, an explosive morning day trade, and it really didn't disappoint. It did really well. We had DVAX did nicely. Neptune stood up and did a little bit, and ABUS just kind of stalled. But we have some of that stuff that we're going to get into, and in the subsequent slides, and we'll discuss each one and how we came about and what happened and all that fun stuff. But all in all, good times today. Okay, let's get into it here with the first one of the morning. Not necessarily in that order. This one did its move almost around 10 o'clock or so, maybe a little after. But this one we had called early, I'd say probably around, 8:30, 9 o'clock. It was pretty obvious that the support point to look at this thing would be about 6:45 on a pullback. And it got to the 6:45. As you can see, got to 6:45, and once it got into that range, it got in there a little bit early and dropped down about 6:35. So you could have held it to where it ran up to about 6:60, but then it pulled back again to that same number, 6:45. Then started to gather some shares, show some strength, and move up nicely. And it got up as high as I believe 690 or 91 if I'm not mistaken. So if you held it up to there, or even you dumped it at the VWAP, that yellow line right there, then you still had a real nice move. It was a real enjoyable one. Easy to trade, so easy to trade that one. Not much to think about, but it worked out really well this morning. Okay, here was the hero of the day today, Pixie, PIXY, explosion. Pixie was a monster this morning. It really ripped, and it's one of those weird ones. It ripped and it literally circuit breaker halted going up, then coming right back down, then going back up again. So there were two ways you could have done this. You could have got in at the open at $11.45 and just white knuckled it, held on as the merry-go-round went faster and faster and faster, and it rolled all the way up to I think it was 15.55. I think, which is that's a $4 move. So. But if you get in at the 11:45 and then maybe you rode it up to around 15.25 and pulled back to VWAP, you were around 13.75 or so and got out there, you would have been fine, obviously. And then we had the pullback with the circuit breaker going the other direction. Now, if you waited for that, if you waited for everybody to shake out and all the excitement to be over, and you grabbed this one way down there, that could have been a heck of a move for you. That would have been, if you grab this thing at 10, around 1050, 1045, 1050, I forget the exact number, but 1050, and you could literally have ridden this thing up to 1556. Would have been a $5 move. So this is a great example of patience. Everybody gets FOMO. They see the stock moving, they get crazy, they want to get in. I want some of this. I want some of this. Come on, let me in. And people take bad entries that are way too high, and they make a lot of mistakes because they want to get into something that's exploding like this. Every time, well, almost every time. I always say that, like every time, like it's a steadfast rule, but again, whenever I say every time, that means most of the time. But most of the time, when one of these things explode like this, there will be an opportunity in the first 30 minutes to 60 minutes to get in at a more sensible position instead of where this thing is ripping like a bow and arrow, like a bow being pulled back so far. You can only pull that bow back so far before you got to let it go. And that's what this did first thing in the morning. I mean, it stretched. Bang, 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 bang. And it was moving. It was moving really quick. So you could have even said, okay, I want to sell this at $13.75 and hit your hotkey or your hot button or whatever it is that you use. And it could have sold at $13.25 or 14 and a quarter. Who knows? I mean, this thing was flying and it's bouncing like crazy. But, hopefully you made money on it because, man, I'll tell you, this was the one. This was the one today. It's the best one I've seen in a few days. So I'm happy we were able to call that out off the scanners this morning. And I hope there was enough alert where you were able to get some time and put it together to fit your own trading plan. So I hope we see a few more of those in the future. All right. Moving on to NEPT. All right, NEPT. This one was off our scanner this morning, our Trading Logic scanner. This is not Pixie. Of course, nothing really was today besides Pixie. However, this is stock that made a nice move. You could put a couple of dollars in your pocket with this one. It wasn't a monster. In and out in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, probably. Yeah, about 5 minutes. So this one opened up at 263. So if you got in on the open, which would have made sense because it looked fine. It was just a little bit under the support line, which was fine in the morning. So you get into 263, and the idea is to run it up to that support line, which was 275, which we had called out in the morning. That support was at 275. So obviously, if it opens under support, you want to buy in and let it run up to that comfortable number, get rid of it, and walk away. So if you did that, you got yourself in at 263, and you got yourself out at 275, which is a nice little move. Again, it's nothing you're going to get invited to the red carpet for, wearing a glitter gown and tuxedo, but you know what? You do a bunch of these every, throughout the week, and the month and the year, you make some money. So I was really happy with this one. It was a nice little move, and we hope to see more of those as well. Well, okay, we saved the 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 worst for last. I guess every party needs a pooper, and ABUS was it. It was a stinker. It was a mess. Anyway, I didn't really have that much hope for this one. I was kind of hoping for a little better, but I thought maybe one of those little maybe 8 to 12 cent moves, but boy, this thing just rolled over and died. Not much you can say about it. I mean, it opened at 249. The high was 250. It just didn't do much. Didn't do much at all. So that's pretty much it. I don't really have much else to say about it, except that it was terrible. It happens, though. What are you going to do? It happens. We're going to have that happen once in a while, and it is what it is. But let me see. I'm sorry. I said it opened at 249. It opened at 269, and the high was 269. So we didn't go real far from there. When you're traveling 269 to 269, that's about as far. That's about as nowhere as you're going to go. And what's funny is the support resistance line was at 267. So it didn't really respect that. It didn't do anything. Just fell over and died. So there you go. There you have it. Not much else to talk about with that one. Let's put it behind us, and we'll move on to tomorrow morning. Well, okay, that is the wrap up for today. Not bad at all. We went 3 out of 4, or 3 out of 3.5. I don't know how you want to call that. That one ABUS that moved 1 penny. I'd call that I'd call that one a fail. So we went 3 out of 4 today, which was nice off of our scanner. Our technical analysis that we do every morning. It's really thorough. We start. I mean that starts at 6 a.m. A lot of work goes into it, and there's a lot that's done the prior evening to adjust, come up with all of these numbers where they need to be. So hopefully they're helpful to you, and they're working out for you. They're working out for me, so I guess that's pretty good. If you're not joining up, I'm still making money. So, but if you want to join me and make money, get in with our little gang here. We can do something, man. Just make some money. Make some money. Don't forget, plan your own trades. Trade your own plan. Remember, everything I put up here is for informational purposes only. This is stuff that I like, stuff that I'm interested in. I put it up here. You do what you want with it. If you want to trade for home runs, you trade for home runs. You want to trade for singles and doubles? Trade for singles and doubles. You want to sit on your hands that day? Sit on your hands that day. You don't have to trade. If nothing, strikes your fancy, don't trade it just because I have it on the watch list. If you look at it and you don't like it, you don't feel conviction in that trade, it's something that that doesn't work for you, then don't trade it. All right? I am not telling anyone to trade or not to trade anything you see here. This is information for you to take and decipher and figure out what you want to do with it. But with that being said, very, very important, please follow us on Twitter. That's twitter.com/trading_logic, as you can see. And please like the video. It really helps. All right? Press buttons. Press like buttons. Happy buttons. Wonderful. Joy. This stuff is great buttons. Haven't seen anything better buttons. Stuff like that. Do they have those buttons? I don't know. But whatever the best button is, if you like it, press it. If you don't like it, that's okay too. I'm sorry that you don't. All right, so you guys have a nice day, and we'll get this wrapped up, and we'll do the same thing tomorrow. All right? Happy trading.